Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games and part 7 of our How to Play Core Space series. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be going through effortless actions and skills. In the previous video we went through part 6, which was the trader phase, and we covered most of the things you can do in that trader phase. And this video will finish that section off looking at effortless actions and also using skills, and then just briefly covering defeated characters. Let's start with effortless actions. Effortless actions are small things that a character may do while on the run or in the heat of combat, such as ducking out of line of fire or swiping an item from the floor as they run past. Effortless actions are free, they do not count as one of your actions for the turn, and can therefore be taken in addition to your regular actions. However, you can only make one of these free effortless actions per turn. If you've already made an effortless action in your turn, you can make more, but they will count towards your action limit instead. Alternatively, you can spend the skill peg to use a second effortless action in a turn, and we'll cover this later on in the video. Unless stated otherwise, effortless actions can only be made before or after other actions. They cannot be made mid-action. Effortless actions include making a proximity move, using any item marked with this icon, throwing an item, picking up, dropping or swapping an item in base contact, giving, taking or swapping an item with another character in base contact if the other player allows it. And just like regular actions, there may be further effortless actions available in certain missions or with certain skills, and some skills may even make regular actions effortless. Let's go over proximity moves next. A proximity move represents a character ducking into cover, sidestepping an attack, leaning around a corner to shoot, or making the extra effort to charge into combat. It allows a character to move up to 1 inch. This follows all the regular movement rules and will still not allow you to move further than 11 inches in one round. As well as effortless actions, we're going to get effortless items. So let's have a look at those now. Certain items will have this icon, and this allows them to be used effortlessly. The item token will state the effect that applies. For example, a combat stim that gives you 2 extra actions this turn. Once the action is complete, you will often have to then discard the token and return it to the token pouch. There'll be times where you can also throw certain items, and items that can be thrown will have this icon here. Note that this includes many close assault weapons. Launching a sword at someone may seem a bit desperate, but it can certainly be effective. Throwing an item requires line of sight to the target, and most items can only be thrown at short range. If an item can be thrown at a longer distance, there will be an M or an L next to the icon. Throwing a close assault weapon is resolved like a ranged attack, using the number of dice inside the icon. Cover, armour and any other modifiers apply as normal. The thrown weapon is removed from the character's dashboard and placed on the floor adjacent to the target. It can be picked up again from the floor just like any other token. And note that thrown weapons can break just like any others following 2 of these results. Place the token face down as a reminder. Some items that we'll throw will be blast weapons, so it's important to go over a few rules just so we know how we can use them. And blast weapons affect not only the target but also anyone in the surrounding 2 inches. They also don't have to target a character. Their attacks will be resolved even if they hit a point on the floor. They can even be aimed at such a point if you wish, allowing the blast to hit characters that would otherwise be out of sight. These weapons are usually thrown, such as grenades, but there are other items and effects that use the blast rules. When firing or throwing a blast weapon, first you need to determine the origin of the blast. Choose a target point or character within range and line of sight as normal, and then roll the blue combat die as follows. If you get any number of hits, you've hit your target. If you get a blank or no hits, you have missed, and the origin of the blast is now 1 inch away from your target in a direction of your choice. If you get this symbol on your die, you've seriously missed. The origin of the blast is up to 2 inches away from your target in a direction of the target player's choice, or the player with the turn counter if the target was an NPC. If there is intervening terrain between the shooter and the target, reduce the number of hits rolled by 1. Once the origin of the blast has been determined, roll combat dice for every character hit by the blast. Blast effects cannot pass through walls. They will, however, pass through windows and across other terrain. Characters on the other side of the terrain hit by the blast will benefit from a cover modifier as usual. Blast weapons will come with these 3 numbers. This one here tells us the number of combat dice used on target character, if any. This one tells us the number of combat dice used on any character at least partially within 1 inch of the target point or target character. This one tells us the number of combat dice used on any character more than 1 inch away, but at least partially within 2 inches of the target point or target character. Now let's move on and look at using skills. Skills are specialised abilities that allow characters to do things over and above the standard rules. Each character has their own skill set comprising of the skills on their class board and often 1 or 2 on their trader board. Each skill is represented by a coloured icon. The spaces around each skill icon will be marked to show the character's proficiency with that skill from level 1 to level 3. Once per round, traders can spend skill pegs to use one of their skills. Some skills are used during actions, and other skills will grant actions themselves. These are done before or after regular actions, but not during, and do not count as one of your actions for the turn. To use a skill, they must do one of 3 things. Number 1, select which skill they want to use and at which level. Number 2, remove a number of skill pegs from the dashboard equal to the skill's level. For example, using a level 2 skill removes 2 pegs. And number 3, carry out the action listed in the skills section for that skill. Unless otherwise noted in the skills description, skills must be used during a character's turn. If a skill contradicts anything in the core rules, the skills description takes precedence. And remember that skill pegs can also be spent on effortless actions, and this counts towards the 1 per round limit, and you will not be able to use any other skills until the following round. Some skills have rules marked as passive, and once a character has the relevant level of that skill or above, this rule is always in effect and does not require any skill pegs to use. Passive skills can still be used if a character has no skill pegs remaining. Some skills are marked as reactions, and these will usually be used outside of your character's turn, reacting to an event or attack made by another character. The trigger condition for each skill's use will be detailed in its description. This trigger condition, or any action currently being taken, must be fully resolved before your skill is used. The skill must then be used immediately before regular play resumes where it left off. And reaction skills can be used even if your character has already been activated this round. Now let's cover a little bit about duplicate skills. Some characters may have a skill type on their profile as a base ability and then have the same skill type on their class board or granted by an item. When determining what level of that skill can be used, these are added together. But just remember, all skills have a maximum level of 3. Now we've covered effortless actions and skills, let's have a look at defeated characters. A defeated trader is not necessarily dead. They may be unconscious or just too injured to move. Whatever the reason, they are incapacitated and cannot participate in the mission. A defeated trader miniature should be laid on its side and an assistance counter placed next to them to remind you that they are not just prone. Hope is not lost, however, because the other traders from any crew on the board can attempt to help them or not help them. And it's important to note that unless stated otherwise, defeated traders can never be targeted by an enemy or selected when a rule calls for a random trader. Items or skills that restore health, such as a Medistim or Medipack, can be used to revive a defeated trader. However, they must be used by another trader in base contact, and the defeated trader cannot use items themselves. The trader using the item can take it from their own supplies, or they can take it from the defeated trader's item tray. A revived trader restores the specified amount of health and removes the assistance counter. They are left prone but can activate as normal in the current round if they haven't already. There's also a rule called grab a leg, and if the crew don't have any medical supplies, defeated characters can be carried or dragged back to their ships. As long as the defeated character is not in contact with an enemy, a trader in contact with a defeated character can spend an action to move up to 2 inches, taking the defeated character with them. If another trader from your crew is in contact with the defeated trader, you may move both traders and the defeated character up to 4 inches instead as a single action. Both are still bound by the 11-inch maximum rule though. Place a reminder counter next to the other character that moved. They will take 1 fewer action in their next turn. There's another rule called rob them blind, and more ruthless players may opt to rescue the defeated character's equipment rather than the character themselves. Other traders in contact with a defeated trader can make a search action as if the trader were a cargo crate, taking any items they want from the character's item tray. Any discarded items are left next to the defeated trader. There's a quick note to make about being at the end of a mission, and in a campaign, characters left defeated at the end of a mission must be extracted, and we'll cover this later on in future videos. But if any of their equipment was stolen during the game, they will not get it back. That brings us to the end of part 7 of our How to Play Core Space series, and now we know everything we can do with our characters in the trader phase. So come and join me for the next video where we'll look at the purge phase. Everything we go through in this How to Play Core Space video series is taken from the Core Space rulebook, and you can buy this separately or find it as part of the Core Space starter set. And if you haven't got this set already, then I can highly recommend it, and I've done a video where I've unboxed all the contents and gone through it in loads of detail so you can see exactly what's included and a little bit about the game. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll put links in the description below to Battle Systems website where you can get all their products, but also Element Games where you can save up to 20%. And you can also watch videos on how to build the terrain and all the different components that come with it. And then I've done another video where we go through all the tokens and cards in lots of detail too. I've also done videos where you can learn how to paint both Ariana and all the other miniatures that come in that core set. So check out those videos if you're interested in painting your miniatures, and I can highly recommend doing that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it'd be great to see you in the next video of the series. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'd be great to see you there.